Hello everyone and welcome to Ceb Dissects, and today the plan is to watch Saksa playing Windranger, position 4, and we will focus only on his laning phase. Windranger, universal hero, lots of stats, nothing crazy there, it's very obvious. He's thinking obviously about trading with Jakiro, which is going to be really important because Jakiro's Fen is a lane that harasses a lot, and it's going to be very hard for 33 to actually enter the lane if his Windranger is not able to trade with him. So this is why he buys all these stats. He's not going to go for boots, windlace, magic stick, any of these shenanigans. He's gonna buy these after, and you can see with his quick buy that he's already planning on buying a salve because he understands that he is going to absorb a lot of damage from that lane. He is gonna his job is to force Jakiro and Sven to look at him instead of looking at 33 as much as he can, at least for the first waves. Okay, he's also gonna have to look at the camps, block the camps, unblock the camps, but we will do what he does when he enters the lane. He is in position to enter the wave with his Doom. That is something that is important, and I want to talk about why quickly. So he did not start with a stick, as I said, because he wants stats. He values stats over, mana and HP regen, because he wants to be strong enough to deal with the Jakiro. Why does he enter the wave with Doom? He enters the wave with Doom because he is afraid of Jakiro and Sven fighting the Doom right away from the get-go and not allowing Doom to enter with the creeps. And this might have happened to you in Dota, where if you don't enter the wave with the creeps, it might become impossible to enter the lane at all. Okay? So it is really important when the enemy lineup is very strong, when the enemy lane is very strong, in this case Jakiro and Sven, to follow the creep and be with the creep wave to protect yourself. The wave starts. Let's see what happens here. So Saksa has a position where he's standing on the left and he's right clicking as much as he can. He already skilled power shot, but you see how he does keep the distance with things. Like, he's not overcommitting to the fight. He's not letting Sven hit him. And he skilled power shot because obviously his plan is to try to get the range creep. So it is impossible for Doom to get the range creep because him getting the range creep would force him to go through the Sven and the Jakiro spells, which, blood grenades, stun, dual breath, this is like an insane amount of damage. He might even have to TP out, or he might just be dead from the very beginning. So it is Saksa's job in this lane to just secure the range creep with power shot, and for that he needs to put himself in a position where they cannot attack him either. So what they did is very simple. 33 pulled the 3 melee creeps onto him, as you will see. He's pulling them back. Saksa's job is to get the range creep and to block the small camp. That would be the best play. So let's see. He hides behind the tree because he wants to be able to channel the power shot without them knowing that he is doing it. You see, these are little things, but they matter a lot. So why is he hiding? Because if he wasn't, what Sven could do is right click the Doom in order to aggro the melee creeps onto him so that he messes with Saksa's read on when the range creep is going to die. Which is kind of what he's doing here. You see, he's like kind of aggroing the creeps to make sure that he try to have him, fail the power shot. Saksa commits for it, and they call it. They're like, yo, Windranger has power shot. Instant blood grenade from the Jakiro. So you see, like, the reaction here was quite crazy fast from them. Like, as soon as they realized that he is going for that play, they instant blood grenade in order for for the Sven to connect, sorry. And obviously Doom has no play in this situation. Like, what is Doom gonna do to save his Windranger? It is now up to him to see if he can survive. If he does survive, it's amazing. And, maybe this is when the stats are playing. He's gonna end up feeding first blood to the Sven. So, two good teams facing each other. They both understand what they're trying to do here. And the consequence of that... Actually, did he get to block the small camp? It's because we have fog, right? Yeah, the consequence of that also is that he keeps the small camp open, Saksa. He was not able to stop it. So, good play from Radiant. Pretty big mistake, I would say, from Saksa at the beginning of the lane, but it did give a lot of space for 33. So, let's see what he does next. Comes back to the lane, knows that Jakiro is pulling the small camp because he was not able to block it. And now this is why he plays quite aggressively on the Sven during that wave. Unblock big. Let's see how he places the sentry. So interesting sentry placement. Unfortunately, when you watch replays, you don't have... okay, you have boxes. I need to play it. Yeah. It's a pretty good sentry, I would say. Okay. he really wants to, so he body blocks the small camp now, because obviously he did want to do it the first time, but was not able to. And now his job is definitely to get level 2, in order to not be killable anymore, because what happened on the first wave should not happen again. He bought 1 clarity and 1 sentry. So the reason why he bought a sentry, obviously, he's as a 4, you need to click the 5 as much as you can to keep track of whether he wants to ward, deward, and he's probably assuming that the 5 is not happy with the big camp being opened. So there's gonna be a battle for the sentries. It could also be for the small camp again, because he used his sentry to unblock the big camp, and now he's gonna want to block the small camp also. And he might not want to do it with his body again. So for instance, if you think about it, Lotus are coming in 1 minute, and Lotuses are really important in the laning phase. So if he did not bring a sentry right now, he would have to either fight for the Lotus with his Doom, which is going to be quite strong on it, or block the small camp. If he has a sentry, he's just going to sentry that, run to the Lotus, and now Warlock has to make the decision whether he wants to unblock small camp and give away the Lotus, or fight the Lotus and keep the small camp blocked. That is another decision I want to talk about here quickly. I said Warlock, sorry, I meant Jakiro. I just played against Warlock, that's why. So another decision that they just make that is interesting in my opinion. So you see how he had all the time in the world. Like actually now is the moment to watch it. So right now here, Saksa could go back and pull the big camp, and 33 could walk to the right side with these creeps on him. So he decides not to pull big because they're thinking about the Lotus. Had he pulled big camp, the consequence of that would be that this creep wave here would have, you know, been either on the Doom or under Doom's tower at 240, which would have made it impossible for the Doom to fight for the Lotus. Instead, the creeps are meeting, which means that they're going to be able to fight for this if they want to. And with their heroes, they probably do. Let's see what happens now. Saksa is auto-attacking the creep wave. Have you noticed what he does here? He's hitting. You see how he's hitting? So pro players, they don't click for no reason. They always know what they're doing, or they should. And he's auto-attacking the creep wave because he's hoping that they can push the wave themselves before the Lotus fight happens. And Radiant is doing the exact same, which is why Kidaro here is throwing spells onto the creeps. You might think he's throwing the spells onto Saksa and 33, but he's actually shoving the lane. So he's actually like throwing spells mainly onto the creep and trying to push the wave, which will result in 33 being stuck with creeps when Lotus spawns. So this should mean that Radiant loses Lotus. Yep. I mean Radiant. Radiant acquires the Lotus and Dire loses Lotus, which is what happens. So now the trading potential for Radiant is stronger, and the trading potential for Dire is much weaker. So during this whole time, Saksa actually did not block small, which I think is a mistake. I mean, you can tell they weren't sure about what was going to happen. Maybe his angle is just too difficult, he just can't get there. But he ended up not being able to contest the Lotus, and not being able to block the camp either. So he's probably not super happy about this sequence, but you know, Radiant is also playing the game pretty well, and they're, you know, they have tools that they're putting to use. So this is not necessarily on him, he's just trying to make the most of what is possible. You've seen that ever since he got the win run and he's level 2, like he's ready to skill it. He's saving a point, which I think is amazing, because there is a scenario where they have a kill threat and he might need shackle shot, but he's also obviously getting ready to skill win run in case he's, you know, in trouble. And you can tell that he's very keen on skilling win run because he's positioning himself in a way where he kind of wants them to go on him. And that is the thing about Dota, is when you know your limits, you can really play off of them. And that is what Saksa is doing here. Is like he understands that through win run, these heroes have no way to kill him. So he's just right-clicking, you know, very aggressively, because he understands that there's them throwing spells on him. It's just not good. Also because, as you've seen here, he has a salve. So even if they were to make him low, it wouldn't matter, because he would just salve up and trade again. Okay, so now he decides to block the small camp with a sentry. Pulls the big camp also. 33, what did 33 do in the meantime? 33 is like diving tower, like just not really diving, but just like, you know, harassing them. Okay, I mean, this is quite interesting what they do here. I think it's pretty cool. So they realize that, okay, they want to pull the big camp. That's what they're talking about for sure. So 33 here clicks Scorched Earth to force Sven away from this wave and force him into the tower. And he's communicating to Saksa that the big camp is free to be pulled because they have no way to stop it. Saksa runs there, pulls the big camp while 33 keeps them busy and tries to aggro this wave to the small camp. Very nice laning in my opinion. Because now they're doing everything. They're denying their own creep wave, and he stacked it too, which is like this whole, all these creeps are gonna die, and 33 is getting all these creeps for free. Very, very cool, like lane manipulation from both of them. Now the next wave is coming. Funny that 33 actually decides, okay, this is a fuck up for sure. He did not mean to do this. Second point in power shot. Jakiro TP'd mid because there is some crazy stuff happening. So let's see how Saksa decides to use this information. Let's watch the player perspective. Yep. As soon as, obviously, now they have the info that Jakiro is not with this guy, and this guy is like crazy, in my opinion. Like, right now, this guy is like, this is illegal. He's way out of position. He's actually, you know, fighting up for the creeps when his +5 literally just went away. So they instantly go on him. He is very tanky, so maybe he knows what he's doing, but no, he's not that tanky. So he just dies for it. Very cool. BZM doing God's work. Somehow ganking and killing both of them. Let's see here. Next play for Saksa. What is he getting? Boots and blood grenade. 20 seconds to power rune, so this is maybe something he should want to contest. Let's see if he decides to, or if he'd rather... Okay, they're talking about the fight that Sven can die. So this is when, like, not being scripted in Dota, I think is very important. Like, being open-minded. Because obviously most supports in this moment would talk about how they should contest the rune, and they should help, you know, Beastmaster with a bottle, get the power rune. But instead, they're like, Saksa's like, okay, I mean, my Doom is really strong. He has Scorched Earth ready. Sven just TP'd back here. And, you know, he TP'd for something. He TP'd because he's gonna contest the creeps. So, I'm gonna fight for it. And, you know, fuck the rune. I don't care about this rune right now. Killing Sven is much more impactful. So, they're gonna make a go on this Sven. And honestly, slowing down this Sven right now is amazing. I mean, we all played versus Sven. Like, he needs to get to Mask of Madness. This is when his, like, farm is going to skyrocket. And if they stop him before he gets to Mask of Madness, or if they slow him a lot, then it's just not gonna be the same hero at all. They decide to go for the Sven. Click all their spells on him. Blood grenade. Fly gated. Sven is dead again. Sven is done. Sven is completely done. And if you look at the net worth, Doom billion net worth, Sven in the bin. Aggro's the wave away from the tower to get the maximum amount of damage. He's running with the creep wave so that the siege creep, you know, doesn't get fucked with. And this guy is dead too. And now Sven is like, I don't want to go there ever again. Anyways, so small things. I mean, I think the takeaway is a lot of great stuff done, like a lot of small things that are really neat. Also mistakes. I mean, we've seen him feed first blood, we've seen him forget to block small. So, you know, I think take this also as a testament of the fact that even the best in the world, they make mistakes. So when you make your own mistake, don't linger on it, don't dwell on your mistakes, just think about what you do well, focus on what you did well instead, try to mimic, like try to bring it back for the next game. Of course, also think about your mistakes. But don't put yourself down when you play Dota because you made mistakes. Even the best players in the world, even TI winners, they make mistakes that can look silly when you watch the replay. I mean, you just fed first blood to Jakiro Sven after playing, you know, 100,000 games of Dota. It looks silly. but he is still one of the best in the world. So improve, obviously, on your weaknesses, but don't dwell on them, guys. There's gonna be mistakes and there's gonna be losses, and that's part of the game. What matters is, are you able to kind of outperform the mistakes that you also do, and that everybody does, because your opponents are also making billion mistakes. What matters is what you're gonna bring to the table and the big plays you're gonna be able to put on the table, rather than, you know, the stuff that, yeah. If you linger and you dwell on it, then you're just gonna get weaker, you're just gonna play worse, you're gonna lose your confidence, everything will get shit. That is it for Saksa's laning phase in this game. It was nice and quick, but that's how we wanted it.